the whole new commission structure and stuff with the NAR and the lawsuits and everything like that. They were talking about it's like you always should be disclosing what's being paid to the for the BAC anyway. And Utah's actually got it separated out on their forms and stuff. But on the other side, it's like they've already agreed to pay you 6%. So one argument could be you can do whatever you want with that 6%. They agreed to pay you 6% to get the house sold. If you're offering part of your commission to the buyer's agent, right? So there's a different way to look at it, but it's all a disclosure issue because some people would charge 6 and offer the 2 and keep the 4 and never really do a good job. And so I think that the confusion comes in is they just didn't know what was being offered to somebody else. But how are they going to argue that it's going to help them get their house sold, right? Right, Shantae? And she takes a big bite. That's awesome. You enjoy your breakfast. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Eric.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Now I never will. So
you never will what?
if I don't eat now, I never will.
Right. Lynn does the same thing. She's go. And if I can get her to come and sit down for a Zoom meeting that we have or whatever, she brings food and sits down right next to me.
Crunching her celery.
Which is, as Ashley knows, my favorite thing. Yeah, celery and peanut butter, right? Daw, what's up? I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you, buddy? I can't hear you. You're in
series recently. It was pretty good.
Why can't I hear him?
But this guy and his wife was like a CIA operative or whatever, she would never eat. Same thing. So what he would do, he would always go in the kitchen. He'd make
it says your mic's on, but I don't hear you.
Just leave it. Like he wouldn't eat it. And then she picks at it, right? And they did that like all the episodes. In this one episode, the guy goes, "Oh, you're making your steak." He goes, "No, it's not for me." But he would always make it, leave it, and then his wife would come up and she'd pick at it, and then she'd end up eating the whole thing. That was the only way to get her to eat. It was just a weird deal. But they did it like you always get 10-part miniseries or whatever, and they did it every episode. It wasn't like it was just once that they kept. It was like a little
Shaw, do you not have a mic?
It's funny.
That's pretty funny. That sounds like my husband.
You do have a mic.
Great. No, I'm making.
Sorry, buddy. I can't hear you.
Pick at it.
It says you're.
If my wife cuts stuff up into little pieces, I'll eat like a watermelon this big, right? But if you gave me a watermelon, give it to me bite-sized morsels.
So since you're hearing Terry's story, I thought I'd put the camera on. See?
I was just chit-chatting. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm auditioning to become a Century 21 agent.
Yeah, is that what the jacket's
for?
for?
I've got my wardrobe going here. I'm going to leave EXP and I'm going to go to Century. Might not make as much commission over there, but I get the jacket, right?
Funny, Andy's the comedian too.
No, don't go.
Awesome.
I'm just joking. Wasn't this a Century 21 one?
Yeah.
That was their jackets for years, right?
Yeah, for sure. The gold jacket.
Now they're anywhere. Are they part of the anywhere conglomerate?
Yeah. Coldwell Banker is too.
Yeah,
So
that's weird.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's it. They're all under the big umbrella.
Jeff, can you hear me now?
I got you.
Now you can hear me? All right, cool. Sorry, new computer.
Oh, no worries.
But our new addition to our life she found us.
Oh, she's got a kid.
She found us in the Walmart parking lot when we were at 9:30 at night.
So cute.
She ran in front of us, and then she ran back in front of us because another car was coming the other way. She ran into some bushes right there in the end of the parking lot, and we jumped out, and I picked her up, and Terry said, "Never again a cat." And it was his birthday Wednesday when we found her, where she found us. She's like, "Look at her, she's so cute, and look how tiny she is."
That's awesome. I'm past that stage though in my life, so it doesn't
and I didn't know how my big old lab was going to do with her, but he's been really fine with her.
Mackenzie just got a new golden doodle, little 10-week-old puppy. Oh my gosh, that thing makes you melt. He is so cute. Gosh.
Who else is on there? Shayna. See Shayna.
What's up?
Didn't get called on in Utah team meeting. I was waiting for you.
She's ready though.
Ran out of time.
I was prepared too, dang it.
That's all right. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you on this one. We'll go through a couple of things and then, yeah, I'd love to share some of our takeaways from EXP CON. A lot of the people that were there aren't on, doesn't look like they're on the call. We had a good showing for Team Limitless down there at EXP CON. It was fun.
Jeff, didn't you say that Kristen got broker of the year?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Did you all know that? Terry was just asking a question. Kristen Perkins got Broker of the Year, the award down there at EXP CON. So she's getting acknowledged for how awesome she is. She really does do a great job. We're so fortunate to have somebody like that cares so much about the agents and utilize her. She is a good resource. She's very knowledgeable and she loves her job, which is a big plus.
And you know what else we've got? We've got broker number 2 in Jeff Marchant.
I should get my broker license just so I can.
You said you didn't want liability, right? But we know you're really.
Well, being the principal broker, yeah, I didn't want to do that. It's funny because I had taken all the classes and then when I decided I didn't want to be a broker, I never even took the test.
We'll take you just the way you are, Jeff.
Well,
Yeah.
the last time someone was saying something, they were talking about you and they were like, yeah, I was telling her how you own the brokerage. I'm like, not quite. It was the guy that you got your hair cut by his wife.
Oh.
He was saying that in
Oh,
our
yeah,
class.
yeah. Assumptions.
You just come across, you exude so much confidence and stature that people just
that's
assume
it.
it, right?
That's it. And I dress so sharp too. That's probably part of that.
Well, they don't see your feet, Jeff.
I have a
All right,
question.
what we got?
I have a question for you, Jeff, real quick.
Yeah, Kathy.
Am I gonna see you next week at all?
I don't know. Are you?
I hope so. I'll be there Sunday in
I
Salt
live
Lake
here.
City.
I live
Okay.
here, so dial me up.
I'll be here for 4 days, so hope to see you some point in time during that time.
Alright.
Okay. You and Lynn and everybody else that I can see for Bill Pipes' class. So
You just took your iPhone and you wanted to put them together in a collage and post them. What app would you?
Can you guys see my screen? Did I share my screen right? Okay, cool.
Great.
Instagram's app, or would you use a separate one?
Anybody have any thoughts on that quote?
Like pick one, super easy.
Pick collage, okay.
I love that quote because I think we do think a lot about what might go wrong and it stops us from doing things. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but
Yeah, it is self-explanatory. I mean, but it's a reminder too, right? I mean, for me, I mean, that's why I pick out these quotes because they usually grab me and have some sort of meaning to me, and then I share them with you guys just so you can kind of like think about that. But yeah, what could go wrong inhibits us from moving forward, right? What if? If we always thought what might go right, I mean, what could possibly happen, right? The good that could happen. We would have no fear. We would always have courage. We would always take action, and we wouldn't be having the self-doubt and the comparison and all that other stuff. What?
I'm just laughing because when I first started working with him, every time I'd go to make a phone call, I would think of every single question that person could ask me, and I would want to know the answers to everything. And he's like, just dial the number. And then, yeah, now I hit it and there's no going back from there. But it's like, if you think what might go right, like, what if I know all the answers or they don't even ask me anything, then it's so easy.
She's underplaying how bad it was. Because she literally would go through all the things that she could think of that they might ask, and then she would come to me and say, what else might they ask me when I call? And it's like, oh.
It was coming from the accounting world, very analytical and very, I don't know, reserved.
And that's where I get that from. It's the same thing because I'm a high C as well as a high S. I used to always be a high C. And then through real estate, I was able to accomplish, the people side of it a little bit more. But I was a contract specialist, secretarial, governmental, everything, just like that. And that was my favorite subject too, was the accounting part. But I'm very analytical too. And I think that's what part of my problem is too, just like you said, Ashley.
Well, but this quote helps a lot because if you just
Yeah.
shoot a question, your brain has to answer a question. So
Right.
if you say what might go wrong, it's going to come up with answers. If you say what might go right, you'll come up.
Well,
with
and
it.
here's the thing as well, is we tend to see what we focus on, right? If we're always wondering what could go wrong, we're gonna find the things that are going wrong. Or if we're saying this may not work, we're gonna find justification for the way we already think, and we're gonna find ways it won't work. But the opposite's true. It's like, what could go right? How will this work? It's like, it's just gonna appear. It's like, wow, you know, and then we feel smart and we take the credit that whatever, but it's really what we focus on that's expanding that makes us notice it, and we move forward. Another thing that we talked a lot about is it's an opportunity to practice, just another opportunity to practice, because and I've mentioned this several times before, because we can't expect to be good right off the bat when we start any new venture. We can't expect that. That's just naive. That's ridiculous to even assume that we're going to nail things the first time we try it. So knowing that, whether it's a sport or whatever, like Eric plays tennis. If I went and played tennis with him, I would frustrate the hell out of him. But the expectations wouldn't be that I could keep up with him playing tennis, because I've never played before. I've never, you know what I mean? So knowing that it's practice is like, hey, another opportunity to improve and to get better is just a great way to look at most things. Are you leaning out of frame?
No, I'm just
Well,
making sure. everyone's-
Sorry, guys, I got one camera and it should be like on a swivel. Hi.
360.
Hi. So what's the, oh, hi. How you feeling, man? You healing up? I ask you that every time, but you're resilient.
man.
Good.
Just gonna turn my video off.
You look good.
Thanks. Finally, somebody said that.
He's like, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. What announcements we got, Ash?
I got some new agents joining the team.
Ooh, nice.
We got to meet Nikki at EXP CON.
Yeah, Shaw, Nikki is amazing. She is
Oh.
so cool.
We loved her. We loved her. She is a awesome
What
person.
you said, what was she?
Nikki is in Tampa, Florida.
An agent in Tampa?
Yeah, you were there, but I don't think you were able to meet her. Yeah,
No.
because yeah. But Shaw had met Nikki, and then we got on a Zoom call with Bill Nieves in commercial, because she has some really great commercial opportunities coming up, and her brokerage is non-supportive to the point where he just said, don't do it. You know, you can't do that here almost. And then Kim and I got on Zoom with her, and she was just a sponge, just taking in everything Bill said. If you guys know anybody in commercial that you want to at least explore EXP, get him on a Zoom call with Bill.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's passionate. He really had a lot of energy, but he presented the facts so good to where anybody would have to move. Hi, buddy.
You both were amazing on that call, by the way. It was wonderful. And then we got her on with the broker there in Tampa, and that went really well too. So yeah, hats off to everybody. That was a group effort for sure.
Is Tyler Owens, is he from Spokane? Because I saw a picture with Tyler Owens and his wife with Julie Dean, that they were at an event together just last week or so, some point in time. And I saw that, and I recognized the name just from that picture. Is he from Spokane?
Who were you asking is from Spokane?
Tyler Owens?
I don't know Tyler Owens.
Oh, no, he's on our team. He's brand new from in Washington.
Oh, on the list. Oh, sorry. Lynn just had me move the Zoom screen up on top
Oh,
of it.
sorry. Yeah. This Tyler Owens, because that's the second time I've seen his name. And he was with a picture that Julie Dean shared with us here in Spokane, that she was at some event, some gathering or something. And it was a picture of him and Tyler and his wife sitting at a table with Julie Dean. You know, she's our new Washington managing
He
broker.
was
from
responsible for Michael and Tyler that are on this list coming over.
What's that?
Julie was responsible for both Michael and Tyler coming over to the.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I don't know Michael Eimer either. So, okay. I was just curious.
All right. This is throwing me off having that up there.
Sorry.
You're gonna have to look here. All right, guys. Anybody want to mention anything about listings or buyers, anything that you've got coming up, or maybe something you're struggling with, on any of this? And if not, we'll move on,
We
but,
skipped wins for the past week too.
oh, we did.
Yeah.
You got one?
Do I got
Mhm.
one? As of yesterday, I decided I'm not gonna be a perfectionist anymore.
Hallelujah. As of yesterday, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a really good one.
I almost cried.
Okay, you all heard it here.
But we're all gonna believe that when we see it, right, Ashley?
You'll believe it when you see it.
Hold
Yeah.
accountable.
Ashley, a plan 80% executed is better than a perfect plan not
I
executed.
know.
Absolutely.
Perfectionism is like inaction because you can't.
Yeah, you're just always editing like that.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what Terry said? He said a plan 80% executed is better than a plan 100% not
Perfect
executed,
plan.
or a perfect plan not executed. Yep, yep.
That's funny you would say that. I had to go to the doctor for panic attacks, and he told me it was because I was a perfectionist, and I cried about it. But not a perfectionist anymore.
Yeah, well,
That's a huge win.
it's huge just because like there was just a little mind shift there to where I'm just like, you know what, I can just choose not to be that way anymore instead of being frozen all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, because
Well,
I overthink
You
everything.
know, another way to look at it is put pressure on yourself about your to-do list, because it's longer than you have hours in the day.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I say, I've got to get this done because I know I've got 50 other things to do.
Mhm.
And so I push myself to finish and close out things as opposed to my list getting longer.
Just get it done.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
clear that list off or it goes 20 items, 30 items, 40 items. And you gotta work the other direction,
Yeah.
right? So-
It kind of goes along with the quote that we shared too, is like, the perfectionist is going to look at all the things that can go wrong. Like she was talking about when she first started with us, is, and allow herself to try and figure it out ahead of time instead of make a mistake, say the wrong thing,
Yeah.
move forward, fumble, bumble, whatever, just, through a conversation or a phone call that she wasn't confident in making. Life is just
Well,
kind of,
Jeff, one thing that I've run into in sales over my career is that I would rather have shorter, higher frequency interactions with who I'm dealing with than one big presentation, right? Which is, okay, I gotta get everything perfect. I gotta spit it all out in one meeting, one discussion. No, have 10 conversations, iterate back and forth. You'll develop a better relationship usually with the person you're dealing with. And so that mentality that you just gotta get it all perfect before you put it out, iterate, let them give you feedback. And I know it depends on the situation and the content and all that, but I've just found that, it's like if you say you're gonna send somebody something. Well, one way we say, okay, I gotta get everything perfect, send it to them. Or you say, look, I'll send you what I got now. I'll send you some other stuff tomorrow and some the next day. And if you do it, I found if I do it that way, I just have better, it engages everybody. You get the momentum going on the task as opposed to, okay, I gotta do that, and you keep pushing it off into the future. So anyway, just the productivity tip that I use.
and it allows more opportunities to collaborate with that person. Because if it's
Absolutely.
one and done, I'm just thinking of relationships in general.
can't
The
build
more
relationships.
frequent you see somebody, like you come in here all the time, right? I mean, we've developed more of a relationship because you're here and we get to talk on a regular basis, and that creates more bonds than if you see somebody once a year, right?
Just while you were saying that, it made me think of we have a Moms in Real Estate Facebook group, and we've got like 800 women in there. And I keep like trying to rack my brain of like, how can I get engagement in there? How can I get people to comment more or interact more? And just as you were saying that, I was like, why don't I follow all of them on Facebook and then just comment individually on like, well, your family's super cute, or like, hey, I saw you did this, that's so awesome. Like start creating individual relationships with them, and then that will grow the group versus trying to grow a group I have no relationships
And
with.
sometimes people, depending on their personality, they'll be a lot more receptive to one-on-one
Yeah.
than they will group. They don't want to put something out with 800 people
Mhm.
looking at it, but if it's just you, oh, hey, Ashley, how's it going? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But they wouldn't say that same thing
Yeah,
in a big group.
yeah,
So it's just personalities.
some good stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Anybody else have any wins?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to move on.
I think we have some great wins, getting lecturer certified at EXP CON.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
pretty huge. especially when I've got two, like, you've got a luxury listing right now, so you should be able to, did you get accepted? So.
You guys couldn't see his face.
Accepted, logged in, fiddling around with everything that they've got to offer. So
Well, it's-
redid my business cards, redid all my logos, yeah,
Awesome.
Facebook page. Everything's updated.
Nice, nice.
My heavens,
Website.
Fast. He gets through that.
I
to-do
haven't done
list.
Yeah.
any of that. I haven't done
Lynn's
any of
like,
that. Because I have got 3 listings.
I'm gonna
I'm
work
supposed to be
some
putting up
signs
this
and
week.
also
Oh my gosh.
all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, you can follow Terry, you can follow me, and you can see that we're totally different.
Well,
And
it-
because I'm really excited about it, but I haven't been able to get into any of it yet.
Yeah, no, I logged in, I was able to do it. I mean, yeah, I think well, unless I'm missing something, I think I did what I was supposed to,
Yeah.
but yeah, in addition to that, that was probably bundle select obviously was really awesome too, but, I missed it, but I know what it is. For everybody on the thing, I missed my plane because of a security issue with not being TSA pre-certified. So I missed my plane, so I missed the session out in Vegas, but, anyway, so bundle select really good. EXP luxury really good, and I also did relocation specialist and REO specialist, but man, those are really kind of depressing in terms of the amount of paperwork, but I got it anyway, so I did those 4 certifications.
There's a lot of paperwork with some of them. Well, what, I guess the biggest takeaway from all of that is that EXP is creating more and more programs for us to get more business.
Yeah.
So as agents are dropping out of, the industry, you're going to notice that those that stick with it and that are, increasing the things that they do are going to get more business.
Yeah.
And so that's really exciting. The thing that I wanted to mention is a Zen list.
We're gonna talk about.
Oh, we
EXP
are?
CON.
Oh, I thought, okay, sorry.
No,
We're
that's
getting
okay.
too excited.
Sorry, I get too excited, yeah. Mhm.
Well, I wanna end on that, because there's a lot of good takeaways that we can share on that,
Okay.
and I want those that weren't there to be able to.
All right, so did you ask about listings? Was that on that first page? Because you moved it?
Yeah.
I have, so here, the reason why I wanted to bring up Zen List, you guys, is that we can share our new listings with EXP agents whenever we want to. So even though I have MLS exclusions on all my listings that are coming up, I can actually share them with you guys and everyone else that's in EXP, which is what, almost 90,000 agents across the world, with our new app on Zen List app, which is an MLS that's across the world that EXP is part of. But I do have 3 listings coming up. If anyone needs something in or would like something in Pleasant Grove that's under 500,000, a beautiful luxury home that is right at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon. That will be a 2.2, and then a gorgeous house in Olympus Cove that will be around 1.3. So if you have any buyers, I've
Miss
got-
Luxury.
I've got
here
some
we go.
listings. Well, that's why how I got into it, is because I've been meeting
Too
with the
busy
people.
doing your
I've been
job.
doing-
right?
Yes, yes. So, anyway, if you have buyers.
Awesome, awesome.
That's the hardest part right now. I don't think it's the listings, it's the buyers. Right? Finding buyers.
Well, one thing I did on my website is I had, the IDX, you pull up the MLS, I had them, and I don't know if maybe everybody does this too, but I just had it filtered to where on my featured properties, I just pull EXP listings. So I don't put another criterion other than it's just specific to
From the
EXP.
brokerage.
Yeah, so that's how I do it on my website.
Awesome. Does anyone have buyers out there?
So the 1.3 in Olympus Cove,
Mhm.
I want information on that.
Alrighty, it's gorgeous. You just wait. Once
I-
it's,
I've got buyers.
oh, nice. What price range and where?
Southern Utah Valley area, 400,000 up to 800,000. So, but, one of them wants like, split entry, because she wants to buy it with her son, so she wants half and the other half. So if anybody's got anything like that.
Split entries are on sale right now.
I haven't heard that.
I look back page said no one ever.
Seriously, split entries are, I mean, if you look at it, there's more split entries than ever because those are the least popular. So, have you hooked up with Heidi yet to see if she has anything?
Southern Utah County.
Oh, Southern Utah County. Sorry, I guess we have, Tyler down there. Right? She
So,
can do something.
Lynn, to answer your question, I do have a couple buyers, they're millennial, 30-ish buyers, first time home buyers, but they're probably in that 600,000 range. So,
$600,000 range is getting, I mean, like, nicer and nicer homes. And if you watch the builders, you guys, they are giving houses away. I mean, I literally, look at new builds. They're, giving all kinds of incentives.
Yeah, we got a list, I think, from Edge while we we're in EXP CON of like 30 homes.
I got a message today that was like, holy cow.
Anybody else have a win or a listing or buyer needs or anything you wanna chime in on?
I'll jump in, Jeff. I do have a new listing in South Jordan at 750. It's in a community that is not a 55-year-old and older community, but it's kind of treated that way. Beautiful, gated. It's over by the South Jordan temple, like 1300 west, 9800 south. Really, really nice home, perfect for one level living. I'm going to be out of town Saturday through Monday this coming weekend. So if anybody wanted to do an open house on it, it would be available for sure. But it's a new listing and probably going to get some activity. So and I do have an 825 listing that's literally 3 doors down from it in the same neighborhood. So if someone wanted to do the open house on the 750, they'd have an opportunity to show 2 houses at the same time if they wanted.
That's nice.
I have something. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have an old listing that's going to be returning. This is the one where the septic system failed. My $1 million listing expires today, but I had an interesting call about it. The seller didn't take it too well, but there's a person that wants to start a cemetery and not a regular cemetery. This is where you're cremated or you're buried with a tree instead of in a grave. And it's kind of a new thing. I saw it on Facebook years ago, but I'm actually going to try to assist this man to identify a property where he could create this cemetery. I forget what he called it, but it's a more natural way to be buried. They actually wrap you in a shroud and plant you with a tree and you feed the tree.
I've heard of
Pretty
that.
wild,
So
huh?
he's looking to put a crematorium or to do the cremation.
Well, not everybody's going to opt to be cremated. Some just want to be their corpse buried. And I can tell you, I'm very positive about this because I've had to bury my mom, and boy, there's a reason that funerals cost about 30 grand or more because they really play on your sympathy. So this would be a much cheaper way to be buried, but it's pretty wild.
Super cool. Well, hopefully you can find him a place.
Well, the main thing is getting the county to allow the zoning and the permitting. Because this county, I don't believe we have any kind of zoning like that. And even a regular cemetery, this wouldn't fit into that. So they're going to have to go to the county. It's pretty bizarre.
You know, it might be worth going to planning and zoning ahead of time and let them know what the business is and have them help you identify areas where it might get approved. Because there's going to be certain areas where it's a definite no, but they might be able to pinpoint geographically neighborhoods or areas that it might be allowed.
Oh yeah, I'll be talking to the county this afternoon.
Cool.
Hey, Eric, on that, on your homes there, I think Patricia would be available to do an open house at one or the other. So I'll reach out to her and have her contact you and you guys can arrange that for this weekend.
That's a good idea. It looks like Eric might have left his chair.
Okay, well, I'll talk to him later.
Hey Jeff, let me throw a question at the group on the new listings bullet. This isn't necessarily a new listing, but for my existing listing. And again, I'm just looking for ideas because it's been slow, right? We haven't had a ton of anything on it, a little bit of lookers, but no real traction. The question is, are you all finding any success in any, the seller offering? There's the 2-1 buy down was kind of popular for a while. Points, I mean, what are people offering from the seller side that might enhance buyers to be more interested in the property? What are some things that you guys are all seeing right now?
Did y'all hear that question on Zoom?
So that's a really good one for Eric, I think, too. Seller financing is something.
Yeah, you won't do seller
You won't
financing.
do seller financing, so if you've got a unique product up there in the higher price range, right? It's getting it to the right buyers, and so it's either pricing. If you offer things like that, you're already reducing what your price is, right? So I would love to hear what he has to say, because at least for mine, it's been timing. Like, it's timing is what is getting people. How long's yours been on? 30, 45 days?
Probably getting close to 60 now.
60?
Maybe a lot more than that, like 70. So I listed almost the exact same time. Sid listed hers out in Riverton. We're like 3 days apart.
Are you getting people looking at it?
We've had some open house. Most of our open houses got about 8 to 10 people. Couples, and unique people. We had a couple showings where we had hardly any. So, but for the most part, we've had some lookers. We had one offer, a real bad lowball offer. But that's it.
That's kind of what the question.
So kind of what he was looking for is, what are you seeing as seller inducements or concessions that they're offering with their listing that might entice a buyer to look closer?
Other than just dropping the price.
I think a lot of buyers are actually coming in and asking for those things anyway, if they're getting financing. Your kind of product, I feel like, is kind of a cash buyer type person. That's why I was asking those questions, is like, are agents showing it? Because that's when we know that something's up, if no one's showing it.
Yeah, it's been really, I said we've had some, but it's been very slow, I think, very slow.
And did any agents give you feedback on where they thought the pricing should be?
You know what's funny? Of all the feedback, almost every agent's giving me feedback, and some of them give the automated form stuff, right? Some of them I verbally have talked to. I've not had one agent say that they thought the price was wrong. Not one. They said no, because I'd ask them specifically, based on other properties you're seeing in the downtown area like this, how is my pricing compared? I think you've got it about right. Nobody's ever complained about it.
I'm hearing the same thing on things on those of mine that sat too.
So the buyer hasn't seen it yet, that's gonna buy it, right? So maybe get on Zen list, put it out there to agents across the country. Because sometimes if you see it, you'll think of somebody that may have mentioned, I'd like to live downtown.
It's in a building, so we've done a couple of specific deals where we have the tenants in the building, come tour it, just so we can get that word. Not that they would be buyers, but they tell their friends and stuff. So we did that. Also, the seller, he had a directory into them as well as a bunch of church members, and I had the seller blast that out to his contact list, right? So because it's right down next to the Mormon church, so I thought, well, maybe somebody that's church affiliated would want to live there.
Well, I almost wonder too about the businesses down there. So when I worked at Deloitte, like, there were partners that they'd fly in, they'd be half and half. And so maybe someone in one of those businesses down there that just needs a place to crash, like, instead of getting a hotel.
Well, I talked to Corey Lewis about the 2-1 buy down stuff, and he said that he's not seeing nearly as much of that. He said only 10% of the mortgages they do have that in it. And so anyway, that was his opinion. I don't know if that's just Corey, or if it's more of a widespread thing, but anyway. Okay. Just thought I'd ask in case anybody had any great ideas that I wasn't thinking about.
Well, and it could be a visibility thing too. So there's actually companies that will send flyers to agents that have opted in to receive them. Free zip flyers. There's a couple of different ones that you could just search for, and then it'll just interrupt more agents.
Well, I've been placing Facebook ads. I've probably done 4 Facebook ads, and so I get some stats. I'm usually hitting 3,000 to 4,000 people with those Facebook ads, but I can't really say that anybody's, I think I've had 2 or 3 calls or texts
Mhm.
where people responded. They'd ask a couple questions, you go back and forth and then nothing, but I'm trying to get that exposure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else,
Terry, what's your area for those Facebook ads? Is that just here local to Utah?
no, we pumped it out to most, I know for sure all the western states. Most of our responses came out of California and Arizona, believe it or not.
Okay.
I think, yeah, we had like 164 on the last one from Utah and like 2,000 from California and 1,500 from Arizona. So, but you know what, that's a good question. I didn't play, I had somebody else place the ad for me and I don't know what her parameters were. I do know it was the western states. I'm gonna put it out on, EXP Luxury, which is gonna give us that wider platform. I
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
done
for
that
sure.
yet, but I'm gonna do that. That'll be another thing maybe that will help with that.
Mhm.
Those
That'll
90
be-
platforms that they say they push it out to.
Right, that'll get you some exposure.
Yeah, so. Yeah, so good. Was that Eric that asked that question?
That was James.
Yeah, James, James, I don't know, good question, but I'm not sure. What would you suggest in terms of the Facebook ad geography?
Well, I mean, considering I've never ran one before, but my thought was I just did like a quick Google search of who is actually moving to Utah. And that came up with a couple different answers. And so if you targeted those specific areas, which it sounds like you are as far as hitting California, that may be a good one. And then I started asking myself the question, what type of buyer, or what is this buyer's avatar, whatever that means, is going to want to buy this property? And then targeting them specifically. The bad thing is I don't really know the answer to that question. So I was thinking about maybe if there's like I don't know, just some business guy that wants to live in the middle of Salt Lake, and he like alternates between like here and Seattle or something. That might be, I'm not 100% certain, but those might be some questions to start thinking about and really zone in on who you're sending it to.
Okay.
Shaw has a comment for you.
Yep.
Terry, you said it's located close to the temple downtown or the church buildings downtown?
The location, he said, did you say it was located?
Oh, yeah,
to the
yeah,
temple?
it's literally, it's on State Street, right across from the white LDS Church headquarters building.
Okay, so you've got 2 good demographics right there. You've got obviously the church, which does a lot and brings in a lot of people, and the main church buildings and whatnot. And then you've also got LDS Hospital, which is up and around the corner, up in the avenues right there, correct?
Correct.
All right, so what you should do is you should market this property to investors who are buying properties in Utah for short-term rentals and possibly midterm rentals, which includes traveling nurses. That would be an avenue I would definitely ask you to explore. You can market through Facebook through to real estate investors. It's called target marketing. If you don't know how to do that, you can check it out on, you can Google search it. How do I do a target audience? And then you can just specifically send out your property to those investors. There's also something called solo ads. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So solo ads is it's kind of like it's a targeting ad concept that specific individuals can do for you. Most of these people, you can find them on Udemy. You can find them on Fiverr or Upwork. You type in solo ad for real estate. And what you do is basically hire this individual to specifically send out a blast email to the demographics you want, which in this case, you would want either buyers who are moving in state or to investors, as I'm suggesting. And then they will get their demographics of however many investors' emails they have, and they will blast out specifically your message to them, which will give them a link specifically to your property. If it's investors, I would encourage you to do some research on what the rents it gets down there. See what kind of need the LDS hospital up there has for nurses, midterm nurses. So when you do market this property, you can let those investors know this is in a prime location to do possibly Airbnb or even midterm rentals. And that way you get a bigger audience and a different audience who doesn't mind the price point because they're looking at long-term growth and getting their money through appreciation, depreciation, and cash flow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the HOAs prohibit investment in rental properties in this building. I have to go positive.
Well, Forget about what I just said for the last 2 minutes.
No, that's all good information though.
Yeah,
for-
no,
for
that's
others.
good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, thanks for the input on that. Those are good ideas, though. I like the solo ad deal. That might.
Cool.
I would think about marketing on LinkedIn as well, rather than Facebook, if the property is over $1 million. You have a different set of clientele and could definitely, I'm thinking like relocation companies and the traveling nursing organizations, but I would definitely market on LinkedIn if it was a more luxury property.
Yeah, you know, I do. So I've done several posts on LinkedIn, a lot, but I don't know that I've specifically done the advertising. So that's a good idea. I'll look at that. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I took some notes on that.
Mhm. All right, I'm just gonna skip past this slide. I've had it up for a minute. It's just acknowledging some of the accomplishments of those in the group. Congrats on all you cappers.
Well, and the cappers too, everyone has a different year, so people will
Anniversary.
drop off
reset.
and reset but I'll just keep people on there that have capped so that we can recognize them.
Nice. This is our training on Wednesday. Louis coming back to talk about leadership, so tune into that one, should be a good one. And
I could put the wrong thing on there.
on this,
Yeah, I hid the wrong slide. Those aren't the ones coming up.
oh, never mind.
I have a slide, I just did it. Oh, it's playing all the videos.
Easy one.
You got. What are we doing here?
Okay, so I put pictures on here, but I did like videos too. I didn't know they were all gonna play.
All at once, let's do it again.
Look, wait, what's going on? Oh, Shayna's trying to get out of chokehold. Where is she?
So that was something that Ashley and Shayna learned, was how to protect themselves.
Well, yeah, we went to a self-defense class, but where is Shayna? Did she leave?
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Oh, dang it.
I'm right here. What do you mean? I'm right here.
Oh, my grid wasn't big enough.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say my self-defense didn't work much on Jeff. It's embarrassing.
I thought you did good.
Got some practice to do, but you know.
Well, that is the key, right? I mean, you learned how to do something. It was kind of funny because she says, okay, try and grab me. And then she tried to break the hold and it wasn't working at first because I was holding her differently than what they had practiced,
it's
right?
super interesting because a lot of what they taught us for the self-defense is that you have to go towards the person instead of away from them. So like one of the moves was like, if someone's holding your wrist, hold my wrist, but the right way.
The way that you can get out of it.
So if someone's holding your wrist, you almost have to like move towards them and then holding. Then I heard him. But the problem was that when he was holding us, he was holding his hands like this, so we couldn't break out anyway, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that was awesome. Yeah. Well, because you're breaking the thumb,
Yeah,
so but with the grip on top
Yeah.
like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Look
So
at that. You can see Stacy is up on stage. Carol is up on stage. Got some
Heidi looks like she's up on stage on the EXP CON one.
That was
I
fun.
am thrilled that I won my social media help.
That is so
And
awesome.
believe me, I need it badly.
That's great. For you guys that don't know, Carol was in the class on using social media, and a Real Grader is a company that goes in and takes all of your multiple websites and makes them congruent so you have the same look and the feel, SEO, so that you show up on the search engines, but people see actually the information that you want them to see. And she participated in a survey or whatever and got called up there and won it for free. It was awesome. You do look like you're giving a class though up there on
She did.
stage.
She was so excited. It was awesome.
I am, and I've got my call scheduled on the 16th of November to start the setup. So come 2024, I should be good to go.
Nice. Well, Shayna, you didn't get called on in our Utah State team meeting, so how about we start with you and maybe each of us that was there in at EXP Con, if you have something that you want to share with the group for those that weren't there, let's do that for a minute.
Okay, so I was thinking about it, and I feel like there's like all of these things that I could say because we go to class after class after class. And if you're not there and you're hearing someone report about it, sometimes it's like blah, 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 right? So I was thinking about kind of some takeaways, and after I've been marinating on it for a good week. First of all, I think everything we learned can be overwhelming, like really over. Sorry,
Yep.
James messaged me. Stop it. He said blah blah blah. Okay.
James is like blah blah blah.
Anyway, so I was thinking about all the different things, and so a couple takeaways is like your branding, because we heard a lot of AI. If you don't get in on AI and you don't get involved with that, it's gonna lose you. You're gonna get lost. All those things. And if you're not like, we're all kind of new to AI, but I have a couple things. So we had an agent, a new mentee actually, who I talked to, and he said, I want to just come in and really work hard on all the things that I'm not good at, like social media. And I was like, after EXP Con, I was like, actually, pause on the social media. I want you to focus on your strengths. I want you to think about what you're good at, and let's get you going with momentum with your strengths. And then we can start adding in social media and the other things that you want to work on that you're not good at, because otherwise you're going to be prolonging your, ability to close a transaction, which is ultimately your goal. So I was thinking about that, and like how it's so easy to go into comparison with social media and what other agents are doing, and you hear other people's success and you're like, I want to do it. And then you try to be like somebody else, and it's not your strength. And so I would say that's like my biggest takeaway, is to really, really figure out what your strengths are and go with it. So with that being said, James and I have a client that actually just found us on, on my Google reviews, and literally just a few blocks away from my house, which is like perfect because it's just easy and convenient. And when we went to the listing appointment, they're just super overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that they have. They're taking a lifetime worth of stuff and they're downsizing and cutting everything in half. And so it was like really, really overwhelming. And for me, one of my strengths is I like to help people get rid of crap. And so like I do a lot of yard sales for my clients. We had this yard sale on Saturday, and my clients were like, if someone was like, how much is this? They literally both turned to me and they were like, Shayna, like how much should we, ask for that? So I was like helping them sell their stuff. And James and I are taking trips to the dump for them, to the donation center for them, to help them prepare their house to list. And like, for me, that's a big strength. And so anyway, the message I received this morning from her, one of many, but they're just super grateful people. She said, I just have to tell you, you wear many hats. I have never had a realtor like you. Amazing. And so just kind of thinking about everything that I took away from EXP Con, whether you guys made it there or not, like really start figuring out what it is that you're good at. Don't be overwhelmed by AI and any of these things that we're all talking about and bringing up, but really, really channel into your strengths and use that and bring it into your business, because it just doesn't do good to try and, obviously we all start somewhere when we're learning something, but you're already really good at something, so use it. So that's my takeaway.
I love that.
You sound amazing, by the way. Like super confident and strong.
I feel like I'm yelling because I get excited. I get loud when I oh, and I do have to say, with this event, that I thought was really cool that Jeff said is the whole event was over and we were just kind of like masterminding in the room afterwards. And he had this idea and he's like, this right here was worth the whole trip. Like just that little brainstorming session. And so it's like, it's kind of like I don't know, I'm an outside of the box type person. Someone will present something to me and we'll all get something very different, but I'm thinking like even way outside the box. And I kind of think that with these events too, it's like you come and we all learn and we feel really, really good, but like, it's like the between the lines of, you know, the in-betweens and things like that, the networking and the socializing with other people is really what's powerful. And now James wants to come to the next one. Right, James?
Right, James, come on. Yeah, we'll get James to Cabo. How about that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, and my mom says that Shayna's talking loud, or not talking loud, but she sounds good, but she is talking loud. But also like first thing right in the morning at like 5 a.m. she's like, what are your goals? I'm like, shh, be quiet.
He's like, I'm awake, let's get out of here.
It's the best. Sorry, James, I interrupted you.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I just, well, I mean, that's what I deal with on a daily basis, so.
That's awesome. Hey, I agree with you, Sheena. Just to piggyback on what you just said, these events, there's so much more than you could possibly bring home and share, right? You're sharing your excitement, but in your head, you're reliving the emotions of what you felt and the connections and this and that. And so those that weren't there can definitely learn something from your words, but it's just different when you're there, right? And I wrote down one thing that has to do with what you were just saying from Brendan Burchard's presentation. He said, you don't lose motivation, you lose sight of what matters. So when you think of motivation and getting motivated, think of this event, right? I mean, we went there and were reminded of why we're doing what we're doing. We were reminded of what motivates us about this company and about real estate. And so it's not like, oh yeah, it was a rah session. Some people say you go to this, it's just temporary, right? It's to go get hyped up and then it wears off. It's true. It's totally true, because it wears off because we start diverting our attention to everything else. When we're at these events, the clarity comes in because we're focused more at these events on what truly matters. And that's what motivates us to come home with a renewed energy and everything, right? Do you agree?
Well, I was, as he's talking, I'm just thinking about like every single day, kind of like what Terry was talking about, my head's down trying to hit what I'm constantly, I guess, trying to attack all of the things that are coming at me daily, you know, but it starts at 7 a.m. and the text messages that come through, and then I've got the emails and everything. And so every day goes by really quickly. And when you get yourself out of that day in and day out and get yourself away and into a totally different environment, it just, at least for me, it brings me back to, why did we even come to EXP? Why is this so different? And how has it actually changed who we are as people? It's tremendously changed us as people. And going there and seeing the same people or meeting new people, and I just gives me a renewed energy of why.
Mm-hmm.
And
speaking of the growth, Lynn and I, we brought this up a couple of times because our very first event, we were totally out of our comfort zone. So the way we interact now is nothing like how we interacted back then. And we remember one specific example. This gal came up and shoved her phone in our face and was like, what are the 3 favorite things you love about EXP? And we're like, good. She's like, one of the videos, and it was like, we just got here. It's like, it was just like it caught us off guard, and we definitely didn't have the confidence.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Shayna at the dance party or the welcome party or whatever. It's not, most of us and I would say in our group are not these major extroverts that are out there dancing or whatever. And so each time we come to one of these things, we're like, okay, this is totally not my comfort zone. You push yourself to just do a little bit more. And it was interesting to be with Shannon. She goes, this is just not my scene. And I get that, because it wasn't our scene either before. And so every time we go, we try to just do a little bit more that makes us uncomfortable. So when you're seeing Jeff socializing and doing showing people the pitch 59 and he's all excited about connecting.
Taking selfies with everybody.
That is so not who Jeff was 4.5 years ago. We were the timid little couple that if you talk to us, we would look at each other and say, okay, let's leave.
Let's sneak out somehow.
Yeah.
By contrast of what I was telling you, that first event and not interacting with anybody. I mean, I don't even think we exchanged contact information with one person or
No.
even had a decent conversation. But Terry came down to this event, and the portion of the time that he was there, it's like I'm hugging people, and people are coming up to me, and he's like, "You're so full of shit. You say you're an introvert," and he goes, "I'm watching you."
It's annoying you can't even make it down the hall with these two because everyone's stopping them. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
well, I guess we'll just keep walking.
We have made a lot of friends and relationships with those things, and yeah.
Well, and what's nice is that's how you get referrals too. So like if you're in workplace and somebody says, hey, I want to find something in Utah, they remember Heidi Capsis from, Southern Utah. They remember Jeff and Lynn Marchant from, Central Utah. And what's nice is when we have team members throughout Utah and someone says, hey, I need something in this area, we can at least reach out to our team members and say, okay, I've done that with Shayna up in her area. And James, because that's where they specialize. So, I mean, that's what's so fun about the collaborating.
Well, the thing about conferences, the content is always good, right? You don't want to discount that. But for me, the biggest value of going to a conference is the personal interaction, meeting people you haven't met before, connecting with people maybe you haven't seen in a while, just that whole face-to-face thing in this world of Zoom. There's so much value in seeing people in person that, like, I've never met Kristen Perkins before, so I met her down there, right? So that was a good one for me. But just, and then Jeff, you introduced me to a whole bunch of people that I would have never had a chance to meet, which again, to me, that's the real value of those conferences.
Well, and that was the first one you've been to. So that we were talking about earlier, the repetition and frequency of connecting with people. So when you see them at another event, the familiarity now is already set, and we tend to see the same people. They just stand out because we know them. We've had conversations. We have a relationship with them. We have done the selfie thing. That's kind of just one of my things when I exchange contact information is I take a selfie with them and text them the picture of us. So it's in my text thread now. So when I have a name or a number that comes up or I'm looking at it, it's like, oh yeah, it just reminds me of that introduction and who that person is. That's why you see you put a bunch of them.
Well, Jeff, just another kind of a side story. Me and a partner of mine in the other business I'm in the self-storage side, we went to an investor conference recently, right? We didn't really care about all the stuff that was going up on stage. I mean, that's all great. People are there for that. There were probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 people at this conference. What we did, we went and sat, and this was a thoughtful, strategic decision on our part. We went out and sat in some tables and chairs by the men and women's restroom. And we just sat there, and everybody's got to go to the bathroom, right? And we were there to talk to people and interact with people, and we just people go, hey, how you doing? And we were doing just what you talked about. We would talk to them. We didn't necessarily go into all these on stage things. Our goal was to meet people.
Well, and you see that a lot in those calls.
Yeah, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
Picking who washed their hands and stuff.
I'm not gonna shake your hand. So you go.
Awesome. Eric, what you got to add, buddy?
I got a few things. So believe it or not, I was there. I'm not in any of the photos.
I'm sorry.
I had a really bizarre EXP CON week. Had a blowout tire on the way driving down, and it ended up taking parts of 3 days of my trip dealing with getting that done, but did make it to Vegas eventually safely. It was a lot of fun. Had some real estate going on there as well, so I did miss some sessions. And Shantae, I missed the party again, last time we missed it. And, I was actually going to feel bad going to the party without you this time, but I ended up doing like a 2-hour Zoom call with a client that night anyway, that I had to take care of. So we didn't miss it. We'll go next time, Shantae. But it was fantastic. My biggest takeaway really, and I think I shared this on Monday, Jeff, was just, last Monday is, when I joined EXP, I really lit up and got excited about ownership. That's really what made a difference to me. 16 years in real estate. I knew I'd never own anything. I didn't want to buy a franchise. And that's what locked me into EXP. And then later I fell in love with revenue share, right? But this EXP con, it really hit home that the EXP is really focusing on investing with their agents in production, like never before. And I had no idea that Revenos, our lead generation company, has given back 14,000 leads this year alone to EXP agents, which I thought was just tremendous. So if whatever lead generation source that you want to latch onto and get qualified for, they are giving leads out and referring them out to us. So if you want to sell more real estate, EXP is the place to be. Also, I loved Brandon Bouchard. He was awesome. And my takeaway from what he was, sharing was his story. He grew up in nowhere town, Montana, just like I did. So that was kind of cool to hear where he came from very, very humble beginnings and has become a massive success through mindset. And I loved what he said, what he asks himself every single day. Did I truly live today? Did I really love today? And did I matter? And I really like that because, we go throughout the day and are we really living our life to the fullest every single day and focusing on it instead of just going through the motions. And that was really powerful. So had a great EXP con, and I wish I could have seen more sessions, but it was an interesting, busy week. Glad my sister was there with me as well, and everybody that was down there. I wish I could have spent more time with everybody, but that's how it goes sometimes. But it was awesome. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you were there for what you could attend. I mean, being there, you can't replace it.
Glad you were safe. That's scary, having that kind of thing happen in that canyon, because that canyon's scary all by itself.
Yeah, it was not super fun. I think it was a 13-hour trip to Vegas that day by the time we actually got to the hotel.
Wow, long day.
Yeah.
But the key is you got to the hotel. So.
Yeah, we did get there.
Well, if you get to spend time with Stacy, and I know you guys love to spend time together, so that's the plus.
Yep, it was really, I'm super glad I went, as always.
I have a quick question. This also relates to last week's slides and stuff. As you know, I've got a relocation, my buyer right now. That's what I'm under with him. And I don't know. I didn't know. I think I know now, but is Revenos like the umbrella over the relocation, Rio, and all that? Because my relocation referral fee is 38%, but then there's another 10% that goes to Revenos. And I didn't know, well, who's Revenos? So can somebody explain that to me? I meant to ask that question at the end of last week's session, but it got to be too late or whatever. So what is Revenos? I mean, are they like the XP? Are they like the umbrella over top of all those affinity programs and so forth? Is that
the way I understand it, right?
So it's 48% total coming out of my commission when I do. I have to find him another house now because he terminated the other one. But
I don't know what the commission splits are, but to answer your question, Revenos, is the it is the umbrella for a lot of these lead generating services and affiliations they've made underneath that Revenos team that runs those departments. Am I explaining that right, Eric?
Yes.
So relocation is under that. Relocation is under that, and Rio is under that. And what's the other program name?
There's quite a few. Yeah, you're right. It is the umbrella over all of them. Even Bundle Select is under the Revenos. I've done a couple of the relocation ones as well. And the commissions, the referral fee is, usually you pay a referral fee of 25 to 35%, with a regular transaction. So it's a little bit higher. But I found that the relocations were pretty simple. They're very well vetted. When you get that lead, they're already pretty.
Oh, it's solid. It's solid.
Ready to go, which is awesome. And one of my relocation leads that I got has actually sent me 2 referrals, and one of them's closed, which I didn't pay any referral fee on that. So kind of a bonus. You get those relationships from those leads as well.
I was just curious because on the last relocation I had 2 years ago, which was just for land, it was only like the 38%. There was not that additional 10% on it. So I'm thinking that over the last 2 years since that one, that's probably when that developed or something came out of that. And maybe they created that division like an umbrella over top of it all. So they're going to charge a fee for their services to work with the relocation companies, I'm assuming. So
They have definitely grown in that department and they've hired more staff and they definitely are generating more leads because of that. So yeah, I'm not sure what the origin of it was, but it makes sense to me that they have to do that in order to staff and to provide that service for us. And I like what Eric said though, is like you get the opportunity to make a new relationship and shine in the transaction and do a good job for them, and they become part of your SOI. So it's almost worth the discounted commission, in my opinion, just to have a relationship handed to you to start and have that opportunity.
I just hope he hasn't ghosted me all this week because I've sent him text messages and voicemail messages, and I know he's trying to get his wife up here from Texas, but he hasn't answered any of my calls this past week to 10 days, and I don't know what's going on. Unless he's just super busy. I know he might wait until his wife gets up here, which would probably be in another week or two before, so they can look at houses together. So I'm assuming he's still my buyer because, you know, I haven't heard anything back from relocation department saying he went to somewhere else. So I don't know. I'm assuming. So I just hope I haven't done anything wrong. I mean, he's the one that terminated the contract, you know, that's the one that didn't like the roof results. So anyway, okay, I just wanted to know what that revenues, what that meant. So
Ashley, did you have anything on EXP CON you wanted to share?
I have a question about at the end of the broker meeting today, she talked about paying for DigiSign. And then there's a place where we can get it for free. Wouldn't it just be easier to keep it all in EXP and pay the $35 a year? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Did you hear that?
I did,
She
but
was talking about that.
I didn't hear about the thing for free, but
So
I
it's
might have to change them.
free for MLS, but if you, so you can keep it through the MLS, but then you'll lose all your EXP forms. Or you pay is it $35 a year and you keep everything?
Yeah.
So it's $35 for the year.
So
I
it's
would just
probably
keep,
easier just to keep the pay the $35, don't you think?
Yeah,
I would.
And that's for the
Okay.
year.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
for the
that's
year.
definitely affordable.
It's really low.
So when I went into my file this morning into EXP Realty and where all the forms and the DigiSign and everything is, and it's talking about putting everything in one search. Do I just say just do it, or do I say no thanks? Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
No, sorry, I was distracted. Ask the question again. Sorry
So
about
when I went to the EXP Realty this morning, it asked me if I wanted to put everything into one easy search from forms to DigiSign to SkySlope, everything all in one place. Do I want to do that, or do I want to bypass it and skip it?
I don't know.
Sorry, I can't listen to the two
Lynn,
different
you
conversations.
guys need to go cut there.
I know.
Damn, Tom.
Sorry. See that. You got it.
Here, I'll show you. I'm just gonna switch it on my phone here so you can see
Okay.
what I'm talking about. Is that too blurry? That looks blurry.
Yeah, I can't see that.
It just says all of your work across products in one place. Changes in the air, introducing a new way to look to work more efficiently and more visibly. This is a new homepage, has everything you need. Easy search and get results across forms, DigiSign, SkySlope, all of your all your work living in harmony. That's the new SkySlope experience, and it's here waiting for you. And either I say no thanks or I say let's do it. So I don't know what's gonna change if I say, let's do it, so.
I don't
Like a
either.
good thing. I mean, it sounds like it might just be an update.
Just an integration maybe.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I've had a lot of problems with Sky Slope. Eric had to show me how to go in and go, like, I couldn't go into the old way of looking at it, and I didn't know the new stuff at all. I was completely lost. And so he took me into the incognito, and I've been having to go into incognito every time to go into my Sky Slope. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm struggling with it. And I got a new computer. I got a Mac. And so I'm trying to learn the Mac in addition to the new stuff. I just feel so out of the loop right now. So out of it.
Good luck
Just-
with the Mac, because I went to a Mac from Windows, being Windows all these years, and I had it 7 months, and I just, I gave it up. I just had to go back to, Windows based.
Well, I'm loving it once I figure it out. But yeah, sometimes it's like hopping online and YouTubing how to do this in my Mac, how to do that in my Mac. So I am learning it. I've had it for a year, but I haven't used it because I've been not online very much. So anyway.
Well, yeah, sorry, I haven't been in there to know enough about that to have an opinion on that.
Okay. Well, that's all good. If there's a button here that says revert back if I don't like it. So
Oh, there you go. There you go. Might as well check it out. Huh?
that's right. All right. Well, thanks you guys.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on.
Have an awesome
Good,
week.
good conversation. Appreciate you guys.
Have a good week. You guys have a great week too.
Thank
Okay.
you. See
Talk
ya.
See you later.